All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see what is happening here. This is my first time on YouTube live. I just need to make sure I'm there because I can't tell. And I think I tested it before and it was working, but I need to know if we're at live. There we go. Okay, sweet. All righty. All righty, everybody. If you need to, there should be a chat functionality if you're here and leave a chat. I was doing these things on Zoom and I think people got a little, um, I don't know, it was uncomfortable because it was me and then they were right, the audience was right there and they could see me and talk to me and it was like, oh, I didn't expect you to be able to tell that I was here. So um I'm trying this format. We'll see. It is a little easier because I don't have to edit or do anything and throw it up on YouTube. Now it's just live on YouTube. So if you're here, say hi. Love the chats. And if you want, go for it. Tell me if you see the two chats I've already got in there. There are links to the workbooks and worksheets. But anyway, let me continue on here. So today we're going to be talking about or getting you ready for the 2025 year. And we're in kind of that slow season now for moving companies. December isn't the most active, obviously. So we're going to go into 2025 with a bang. And we're going to see what we can do to make the most of 2025. I got a really good feeling about the coming year. The election's over. I think people are feeling rather good about what's coming. My sister-in-law is a real estate person. She feels good about it. So I'm feeling like 2025 is going to be a banger year for moving companies. I know it is going to be for me. I'm pretty psyched. In the meantime, if you're on this, just kind of take the time to turn off your cell phone. This is your time. If you are a business owner, a moving company owner, this is your time. This is for you. And this is for you to plan out what's going to be happening in 2025, your marketing plan. We're going to get into all kinds of stuff. So I need you to focus, turn off Facebook, chat, and, except this chat. And this is your time to get serious about making a roadmap for 2025. It's going to be about an hour long. I get it. You got to pick up the phone if you need to, but try and pay attention at this point. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat too. So in this session, we're going to set some goals. I prefer to call them a roadmap. How many leads do you need? What's your budget? What do you need to be focusing on in 2025 when it comes to your marketing? We're going to talk about very briefly, I will tap into some of the trends that we're seeing. I'm sure you're seeing, you may have some questions about it. Then we're going to get into your marketing strategy. I've got a laundry list of things I need to look at. I've got a workbook and a worksheet, which I will provide to you. They're free. Go for it. Copy them as you need, print them out, take them with you. These are all the different channels that you're going to need to be considering for 2025. We're going to then have a bit of an action plan. We're going to in that workbook is each element, each area for digital marketing has got 3 action items. So try and fill this out as we go along. We're going to determine your KPIs. What are they and how are you going to be tracking that to achieve outcomes? We're going to create a budget. What's your marketing budget and where will your dollars be spent? And what marketing channels do you need to be spending your time on? We'll have a little Q&A and the bonus freebies at the very end. A lot of this stuff is already on my website, but I'm just kind of handing them out this time. Now, if you haven't done so when you registered to get this link, it's live. So the link was more of a reminder to make sure everybody showed up. But we've got, if you want to go click here, it's the Moving Marketing Results, links.movingmarketingresults.com annual workbook. I'm going to go ahead. Because I can't tell if what I submitted earlier is already there. So I'm going to put these in the chat already. So I'm just copying that. So this is the annual workbook. That's what this is. And then I'm going to throw in the annual worksheet, which is next. So this one will have you copy. This one looks like this. It is the plan. Pretty much everything that I'm talking about today everything is in here, but there's not a lot. I mean, there's a few metrics that I need you to be aware of and to start thinking about year-end target goals. And then I go into kind of individual details where you might want to use a highlighter, highlight what you need, what's green, yellow, or red. what areas in your marketing should you kind of focus on in 2025? And all of this is going to help you make some of those decisions, and as well as the presentation today. This is your lead generation target planner. So how much should I be spending on marketing? This is a really great tool for that. How many leads do I need? How many do I need to convert in order to get to my goal? So we'll go into this as well. Now, why should you listen to me? Why do you even care about who I am? What do I know about all this? So I'll start off. I've been doing digital marketing for 2 decades, over 2 decades. And I started out as an IT person and working for banks and metro agencies in Arizona. I was 10 years as a Defense Department logistician. I did a lot of inventory management, facilities management. I was there, building out databases so we could track containers. So I was kind of there in the very beginning before the internet even started. Part of my job when I got out of the Defense Department was working for a bank where I was kind of helping people this new thing called the internet. We went from floppy drives to the internet, and I was the person you called to help you figure out how to get to your bank other than using a floppy drive, the times when you dial up. I've worked with contractors across the country. I can probably say globally. I've got a couple German clients. I am working on a book, Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Movers. Yay me. That is really hard to do. That's very hard to do when you're really busy. I'll also say that I'm not a veteran, but I am part of a military family. I have moved every 3 years of my life. I've done military moves, commercial moves, apartment moves, DIY moves. I've done apartment moves, home moves, military home moves. You name it, I've moved it. I'm your customer. I'm the one that, and I would be the person you would be talking to on a normal basis on moving. And I've done that now for umpteen years, moved so often. I've actually created the ultimate moving checklist that I hand out to our clients. We give this out as a tool for everybody else. When you go and visit people, I want you to hand this tool out, this checklist out. It's pretty thorough. And that way you kind of give a little authority builder, and they leave it on their desk and they remind them. Anyway, I've built hundreds, thousands of websites over the past 25 years. Just a few of these are moving companies, and I've done contractors, plumbers, but in the plumbers and HVAC guys, I've done oil and gas, energy, I've done bookkeepers, you name it. But in the past 3 years, I've really, really been focusing on moving companies, and I really enjoy it. I think I have an affinity toward it. Like I said, I've moved so often. I just kind of feel like I know you guys a little bit. This is the team. Our mission is to double the sales of 1,000 moving companies in the next couple of years, few years. And this is the team that helps me do that. We're all very, very dedicated. They're all very, very knowledgeable. And I kudos to the moving marketing team. Now, what we're going to be doing now is we're looking to nail your marketing in 2025. How can we double your revenue and improve your profit? How can we hire more movers and staff? I've got one client that really, really needs help. And my goal for now is I want to get her someone to help answer the phones, help her do some scheduling, because she's doing it all on her own. And I want to be able to help her accomplish that goal the first quarter, so she can have a little bit of time off herself, take a breather, as well as grow the business. It's very, very hard. I know, as a solopreneur running a moving company, it's going to be very, very difficult to run everything on your own. You're going to be so stressed out. So hiring the right people to help you fill those tasks within the business, I think, is really important. So if you're just starting out, how are we going to get that done? I think also many of you are, we're family, and you have families to take care of, whether that's your own children or that could be, your friends and family. How are you going to provide for your families? How are you going to take time off and have a life? Have some vacation time. What can we do to help get you there? So one thing is to set clear goals for 2025. Like I said, I prefer this to be called, in fact, I'm going to go back later. I'm going to change these out from goals to a map. And I just would rather talk about building the step-by-step, how am I going to get from January 2025 at this goal to December 2025 at this goal? What's that map look like? How am I going to get there? How am I going to keep the phone ringing, keep the crews working, keep the trucks moving? What are the things that we need to do to get clear direction to drive your success? And, ask that question. How many leads do you need to get there? How many converted leads? That's another thing is some people buy using these lead providers, which are great. I mean, it just depends. Some of them are really great. Some of them are really crappy. But the problem is that you might get 100 leads a month and maybe only 20% are legit and you're only converting 5%. So rather than having a full marketing plan where your leads are coming from different locations and people know you by brand, you're not vying for the attention because there's 20 other people who are getting the exact same lead as you. How can we get it to the point where they're coming to you because they heard of you, they've seen you, they like what you've had to say, they've seen your social media, they've been to your website, and all the things that you want them to do or want them to see are there. And so how are we going to get there? So now let's look at the workbook. And like I said, this is a workbook. I prefer it if you printed this out, have this next to you, start filling out as much as you can. And if you are a business owner, these are the numbers you need to know off the top of your head. If I call you, if somebody in the digital marketing realm, these are the questions I'm asking you. What is your average ticket? That could be 500 to 2,500 to 10,000 per ticket if you're doing long distance moves, right? If you're doing labor only, it could be 250. I don't know. It's what's your average ticket is. How many do you actually convert? So if we send 100, how many do you convert? Is it 50%, 75%, 10%? Those are just numbers you need to know. And then that's the current snapshot. Then I want you to go through and, I'm going to share this tab. Said you're not seeing this tab. So this is the tab. This is what I want you to look at. This is the 2025, your current snapshot. And you're going to have as of 2024, end of 2024, filling this out. What are you currently at? And then we're going to have 2025 goal. What's your vision? What do you see in 2025? How do you see yourself? What's the average ticket? If we're not converting enough, we're not able to pay our bills, how are we addressing that? Do I need to increase my prices? Do I need to improve my sales? Do I need to improve the quality of leads that come to my site? What are the things that I need to do? And these are all those levers that we're going to go through to make sure that I reach that vision. And then what we'll do here is we'll look at the worksheet. So print that out, take a moment. Now we're going to look at the annual worksheet. These are the numbers. This is something that I've built for you guys. And these are where you're going to kind of put in where you're at. What's your target goal? So some are at 500,000 right now. We're not quite at the million stage. So I'm just going to make this really easy. I'm just going to pretend like we're doing 1 million in sales. Oh, that's 100,000. We want a little bit more than that. All right, let's pretend. Let's say our goal is to make 1 million by the end of 2025. If that would mean you're going to have a monthly total gross revenue target of $83,333 minimum to get to that $1 million stage, right? Let's just say your current revenue is, let's just say you're at 750K. Is that right? Yeah. All right. That's 133% growth in 2025. I think that's very doable. Very. What is your average ticket value? I get all kinds of numbers. I'm just going to go with, let's just say 1,200 is an average ticket because I get small single family rooms, 3 bedrooms, right? And again, this is all, don't look at this as like that's what it should be. It is all very dependent on where you live. New York versus someone in Ohio versus I'm in Houston, Texas. That average ticket value, California, is going to be very different. So what is your average ticket value? So that would mean if I had an average ticket value of 1,200, that means I need to have 69 jobs booked jobs, 69 per month to get me to that million. So everyone comes to me, I want to make $1 million this year. That means, can you take on that many jobs? If you've got one truck, I don't know. I think you need to get more trucks. You need more salespeople. So what's that mapped? You can do this quarterly as well. To get to that $1 million mark, break it down in quarters. The first quarter, I need to make this much. Maybe by the second quarter, I need to get a truck. Maybe by the third, I need to hire staff and stop looking at contractors. So this is where you get those numbers from. Now, what is your average conversion? Let's say it's 50%. Um, I would need 139 leads coming in every month to get to that 69 booked moves. And that's with the 50%. Now you can see if I adjust this, if let's just say I'm at 25%, that means I need 278 leads coming in. So it behooves you to get better at sales. It gets better at qualified leads. And other than, or, we've got one of our clients at 75%. So he only needs little about 100 in order for him to get to that 69 per month booked moves. Average cost per generated lead, right? So that's 374. Annual budget required to hit that target is 34,650. So that's our B17. I always forget B17 times B19. Yeah. Right. So if we've got an average cost per generated lead is 374, that means I need an annual budget of $34,650. Right now, I'm going to get into the budget allocation soon. Now, if I come here to budget allocations, there's that $1 million. Now, this is where you adjust what you're willing to spend. This is your marketing budget percentage. 5% is rather low. It's very, very conservative, but that's typically where most people sit at. You can keep adding that. If you get to, let's just say 8% is the rule of thumb, you can see how the numbers adjust. So if you're looking to get $1 million and you want an 8% marketing budget, that's $80,000 per year marketing budget. So some people get a little frightened about that. So we stick it at 5%. That means you got $50,000. That's total $50,000 each year for a marketing budget. And then you break it down by 12, right? Now we're going to allocate that. We've got online marketing. We've got offline marketing, which is maybe if you've got some flyers that you send out, some letters, some postcards that you send out. You've got some offline, maybe you've got a banner somewhere, and then repeat business. How much you're going to spend on repeat business. And you can always adjust this. So let's just say we do 20% here, and then I'll do 5% here. And 5% is having touch base with people you've already worked with. Apartment owners, remember, they move almost every year, depending on the lease. So how are you going to reach out to past customers? This is where the budget starts filling out, depending on your percentage of how much money you want to spend per segment. And so in this case, $37,500 on online marketing, $10,000 on offline, and $2,500 on repeat business. Now, this is marketing, not sales. So that's another budget. So you can now start kind of breaking down 8 points. So January online marketing is 3,000. And that's not a lot. This is where I kind of go, if you're including an online marketing of $3,125, that's not a lot of money to get to the $1 million range. So this is where you kind of adjust it here. What if I do 85% and I do 15%? And let's do 10% because I still think you need to reach out to others. Now we're up to 3,500. Now, how much you're going to break this down into further down into marketing allocations of SEO, PPC, display, right? We can just keep on going and breaking it down. But this is a really great tool to figure out what your numbers are going to be, which is really, really important to map this stuff out. Try not to go in blind every year. Have a plan. Figure out how you're going to get to the end of the year and have that budget set up. So let's go back over here. Making sure I don't have any comments yet. Right? No comments? Let me double check. I don't see. That's me. All right. All right, cool. we're moving on here. Now, this is where I was talking about that snapshot. So we're going to have an average monthly revenue. We've got typical number of projects you run per month. We're going to have average ticket, average conversions, number of movers, number of trucks, and number of staff. We're going to fill all this data in. And this is where, again, we kind of come down to figuring out what your snapshot is as of 2024. Do this again for 2025 for the future. And again, using our budget planner here. So breaking it down, if we have an average monthly revenue of 5,000 or a $5 million goal, divide that by 12, that's 41,000. My numbers here, 41,600 and let me go back. 666, extra 6 in there. Typical number of projects per month is 50. And so just kind of breaking it down, right? Average 1,500, 30% conversion. And so those are just kind of those metrics you want to keep track of. Do that again for 2025, come up with that plan for how you're going to accomplish that million, $5 million, $10 million goal for that period. Now, I would recommend you do it for 2028, a 3-year map as well. Break that down. So if you're at $1 million, how do I get to 5 million or 10 million in 3 years? Do that as well. That's going to help you figure out, again, how many trucks I need, how many people I need, how much I need to spend on operations, marketing, and get those numbers out. Now, I want to get into some of the trends that I'm seeing in marketing. One of them is definitely growing popularity of AI. Focus on Google, but ChatGPT is being baked into Bing results, considering how you are ranking in Bing and ChatGPT search directly. These are future. I'm learning more and more about this. I'm heavily in AI right now. I'm pretty much every day in it. I'm looking at different tools. And how is this going to affect SEO? I think quite drastically in the next few years. Are we even going to need Google? I don't know. Now, online scheduling. Your clients would prefer to schedule directly online if at all possible. So some people still want the phone calls. I get it. I still think that's the best way to convert. Forms, you fill out a form, but if I can fill out a form and get an immediate estimate back, it saves you time. It saves time on the receptionist, whoever is the salesperson's. But at the same time, that little bit of a human touch to talk to that person and explain why things are the way they are, how much they are. So you have that sales call. But again, people do prefer to have that immediate and instant estimate. But again, if you're price-based, I think that's great. There's other tools out there that I've been looking. I had a conversation with, and I forget the name of the company, move.ai, move something. Anyway, they've got a really great estimator tool that you take a picture of your room and it will auto calculate the size of everything, the weight, and help for an instant, just by taking a picture of your room and the house. You can kind of go through, take pictures, and give you an instant estimate. Another is the two-way text messaging, giving your clients the option to text versus call. People still kind of, it's a lot of people to have to manage if you're constantly text message. This is why I prefer our tool called the Moving Up app. You can text within the app and you can organize it. You can see any new text messages that have come through. But this is trends. These are things that are coming down the pipeline. If you aren't using text messaging, I recommend it. If anything, we can turn on a text message if they've called and we missed a call. They can get an immediate text back that says, "Hey, we missed your call. We'll call you back in 5 minutes." Or, schedule an appointment with us so we can get a really good idea on your needs. So there's just whatever works for you. The other is an all AI lead follow-up, especially via the two-way text messaging. There's some automated ways we can immediately follow up with people depending on where they are in the customer journey. We can have AI voice receptionists. This is one of the things I've turned on and I'm testing myself. And this is more of instead of the old dial 1, dial 2, dial 3 for sales, support, whatever. This is an AI voice asking you questions. "Hi, Joe. What brings you to us today?" And it's, "Oh, I need to speak to billing." "Okay, billing. What kind of questions do you have?" Right? And so it kind of walks you through a FAQ scenario. So at least you kind of get a sense that you're talking with somebody. You do want to kind of at the beginning say that this is an AI, uh, I just think that's ethical. Then, if anything, there is a more of a human touch in there, in that I can say, I need to speak to an operator. Great, let me get somebody on the phone for you. Or the other avenue is a sales avenue of getting their name, getting their email, getting their phone number, asking the basic questions: is this a residential? Is this apartment? Is this a commercial? And just asking all the things you would typically do on a form, but have the AI voice do this for you. Then when they're done, it rings over to a salesperson. So that's what I'm testing out right now. Authentic video content. I think we're in this really weird age of we don't know what's real and what's not. So having somebody uh, on video, a real person, not an AI, that looks still creepy. You can kind of tell it's AI. Having an authentic person talk to you about all the moving stages, being that helpful resource on a real video on your website, on YouTube. There's a really great guy out of Colorado. He he's funny, he's engaging, he's got his own YouTube, Instagram, and he just hops on there and he talks to you. He's, hey, today's moving day, we're going to do XYZ and here we go. And you know who he is, you see him. And that's where I need all of our clients to do, is to be authentic. I need your faces, I need you, your team, your office, your drivers, your movers, and them all to be represented on the site. Authentic video content is 2025. That's kind of our deal. All right, now let's go talk about your marketing strategy and where do you need to focus the most. This is our growth marketing model. And as we go through, there's three sections: drive leads, maximize conversions, optimize results. And then each of these that's breaking down into its own models, which is what we're going to go into today. Now, this is overall when it comes to SEO pages. I'm not going to go into every single one of these, but these are all those little things to think about when we're talking about segmenting your marketing and building a marketing plan. These are just some of the items in there. Pages, if you just had to break it down into full bullets, this is probably what we would be looking at. It's way more extensive than this, but this is like the simplest version of it. Pages, optimize your titles, unique content, helpful content, claim your Google Maps, work with Bright Local or some citation management to get in the directories and correct your phone, any issues there. Add to a major data aggregators. That could be Yelp, that could be even Angie, some of these others, but anywhere that's directories that kind of hold on to move removers, or some of them that you just want to get listed in all these different directories. Put a system in place for driving online reviews every single day, every single move. You should have a pretty aggressive stance on this. Add a new citation on an ongoing basis. And citations are little snippets on the internet that mention your company. A Better Business Bureau, a chamber link, a link from a blog. That's not a citation, that's a backlink. But these are all citations that have your phone, your address, a link to your website. Those are all great citations. They need to kind of match up. Now, I'll tell you this. You don't need to have 1,000, 2,000 citations. There's just a few citations out there to really focus on. And don't fall for the $100 a month to get on every citation. You just don't need that. You do want to be consistent with your content, and Google is always looking for authority signals. I think this is the most important: expertise, experience, authority, and trust. It's the EAT methodology. Multiple do follow links back to your site, including your Google business profile, and map embeds on your site, and fresh content. Fresh content. Try not to get too stagnant. So, again, more information about the accelerated roadmap: drive leads, maximize conversions, optimize your results. So we have an organic, we have paid, we got your database, which is all your past clients, your book jobs, your sales, all of that, your SMS and phone. Sorry. Still getting over being sick. Next, we want to maximize those conversions. So afterward, you've got a website, you've got to build your reputation, and you need some automation. So you have your leads, you're driving them through, and then we're maximizing the conversions once they get there. Remember, we're always looking for qualified leads. If you have a crappy website, you'll get crappy leads. If you've got a crappy reputation, you're going to get crappy leads and they won't convert. If you don't have any kind of automation, you're not following up with leads within 30 seconds or less, touched at least 5 times automatically, you won't convert as well. And then we've got an optimized results where we've got how much have we spent total on our Google ads, paid ads, just the overall marketing. What is our average cost per lead? Is it going up? Is it going down? And what's our return on our investment? So constantly be tracking all of this. So how much did you spend to drive leads? What's your conversion? And what are the results? So one thing you want to do is definitely one thing I'm not used to is this views tabs. It keeps moving and you've been looking at the wrong one. Anyway, this is the accelerated roadmap. I wasn't sharing this with you earlier. So this is drive leads, maximize your conversions, and optimize your results. You've got your organic, paid database, your website, reputation, automation, and then what you're spending and what your ROI is on that. All right, so omnipresence is something to be working constantly toward. This is where you want to be everywhere at all times. You want to be shown on different websites. You want to be on Facebook. You want to show up on Google. You want to show up on the map. Your brand, not some other company that's referring leads to you, because then your entire business will be wrapped around other companies sending you leads. I think it's great. Use those, get those leads going. But at some point, you have to own your own brand and your own message so that you can get your own leads. They trust you, they know you, they like you. All of those things need to come first so that when they come to you, they know you enough that they're going to easily convert. So omnipresence is one of those concepts that we're looking for, just being everywhere all the time. Retargeting your paid ads. So once we build out a paid ad campaign, we get enough visitors to your site, we can start doing a retargeting where they start seeing your ads in different places. That's really effective. In addition, we might do an automatic postcard that gets immediately mailed out if they do 3 things on the website. If they go to 3 different pages, specifically, we can send them out an immediate postcard. So we've got that 12-point touch system that we're constantly looking to do of they got to see your ads at least 12 times. I know there's a magic number 7. Welcome to 2025. That no longer applies. We need at least 12. Some say 20. That's a lot, a little overkill, but I think 12 minimum is a good. So they Googled you, they saw your website, they saw your ad, they get retargeted, they get a postcard sent to them, they see your social media, they get an email campaign, a second email. Then they come back to the website. Maybe they get a physical letter, a phone call, another email, and maybe a visit back to the website because they saw your ad on, the local news. So all of this kind of just keeps moving around in a circle. We start with an SEO at the foundation of your website. We go to a pay-per-click campaign, Google AdWords, local ads, Bing search. We've got the retargeting I was talking about, Google, LinkedIn retargeting, Facebook retargeting, because we'll try and get, once you're in our advanced programs, we get the pixel from Facebook. So at some point we can start doing some retargeting on Facebook. We've got paid online directories like Angie's, Chamber, yellowpage.com. And then we've got a repeat and referral, email marketing, social media, thank you cards, SMS, pay per lead. That's our Google local service ads, your Google guaranteed, moving leads, and of course, Angie and Home Advisor. Those are all examples of pay per lead. Come back around to multimedia, live video. Some are doing podcasts, webinars like we're doing now. Shorts and reels are very effective on Instagram and YouTube. And then we've got a sales program of gift cards. We've got newsletters, rewards programs, maybe some discounts. So it all kind of works together in harmony. But at the same time, this is all part of that omnipresence and we're trying to maximize the conversions through the omnipresence. They just see you everywhere. Now, I want you to ask yourself on page 6 of your workbook and driving leads. So we're looking at organic, paid, and database. So how are you? And give yourself a green, yellow, red, and each of these categories on what you're looking to do. And let's go back here on page 6. So if we scroll down here, so ask yourself in each of these, and as you go down in your website review, give yourself a yellow, red, green, highlight it if you think it's helpful. But where do you kind of rate yourself overall at this point in this kind of this lead domination strategy, the omnipresence? Where would you fall in this process, in this program, if you were to give yourself kind of a green, yellow, red? Green, I'm good, everything's great. Yellow, oh, there's some areas I need to work on. Red is, wah, 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 I got a lot of work to do. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple seconds there while you guys do that. I'm looking for, yeah. Okay. All right, now we're going to continue back. All right, now let's start with your website. Is your website optimized for conversions? And in that growth model, upper right, maximizing your conversions, we're looking at your website right now. Your website is your business hub. It is the center of your marketing strategy. It is where most people end up. I don't care if they are referred to you, if a friend, they will go to your website to check you out and see if you're a legitimate company. We all know that's a really important in the moving industry. Beyond your reviews, what does your online reputation look like? And online reputation isn't just the reviews you get. It is your website look real? Anybody can throw together. I can throw together a website tomorrow and pretend like I'm a moving company and just, get people to give me money. So how can you make it so that your website, being your hub, represents your business at its absolute best? And these are just some examples that we've done. So we've got Summit. I'm more of a designer or marketer that believes in very clear, clean websites that have very specific calls to action. This is kind of an old screenshot. I would kind of come down here. We are always looking at the phone call to be the major conversion. Sometimes it's the forms. Those are fine. I've just, in my experience working with so many moving companies, it just seems that we get the calls just don't, the forms just don't convert as well. Now, here's the thing. The form, you cannot wait to call back. When a form comes in, you've got about 3 minutes to immediately call them back. You can email them. You can even have a text message that immediately gets sent that let them know that they got the form. But to get a true conversion, you need to be on top of it. One of our clients in the phone calls, they answer the phone within 2 rings. They do not let it go to voicemail, which helps with that qualified percentage of leads that are the percentage of qualified leads. So in this case, it's 74%. All of the leads that come through, 74% are actually qualified, meaning out of 100 leads that came through, 74 were actual leads that were the kind of leads that this company was looking for. Apartments, office, some do, junk removals. So they were qualified, which is what I want. The more qualified leads, the better. Average paid leads are 44 and average leads per month are 83. And so we use a dashboard and we collect everything in our CRM. So we get it as close as possible to your tracking and your numbers. But conversions on a website is what helps with these numbers for us. And why is conversion so important? Well, if you've got a 10% conversion versus a 30% conversion, that's, 12,000 versus 36,000. That's huge. So having a higher conversion rate, and especially with same average move, if we just made some changes to your website, changes to your messaging and your brand, and we put the right kinds of calls to action on there, if we can help with that conversion process, the better your business. Sales has a lot to do with this, of course, but if I'm missing out on people, they're coming through and we're not converting them because no one's picking up the phone. They all go to voicemail. No one returns the calls. The forms get missing, and they're like, "Oh, we tried to call, no one picked up." Well, call again. Keep calling until somebody picks up. Don't call one time. Call 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But what we're looking at is tripling those leads and that revenue because we've improved the conversion rate. And part of that is having better qualified leads. How do we optimize? One thing is, even though you might be doing paid ads, SEO, and social, what's the messaging that's coming through into the website, going through the funnel? And are they calling or filling out a form? How do we optimize that process to get a better client, to get them booked, more booked moves than we've gotten them before? First is that very strong foundation, websites, search engines, your review strategy, social media, all of these all have to build upon bringing it back to your website. I just had a conversation yesterday. Somebody came on and we were talking about, they were doing their own social media. And we're talking about the website's growing, organic is growing, but I could see a little trickle in from social. For us, when we do social media, we prefer if you do your own social media. I think the better, the more authentic, the better. We help by sharing content, driving people back to the website. That's our goal. So when I looked at their Facebook page, I could see it was great content. They were sharing really great stuff, but never once did they say, book a call, book an estimate, call us for help. Here's, get the checklist. All of those things were nowhere in any of these posts. So we need to mix that up. We were trying to, that's part of that strong foundation is how do I get them back to the site to convert if we're not doing Facebook ads, assuming we're not doing Facebook ads. If we're just posting, don't post just to post with a purpose. But one of those goals is to send people back to the website. All right. So if anybody give me some of those takeaways, I'd love to hear from you. Throw it in the chat. Anything that I've shared so far, I'd love to hear, but I'm going to just keep moving on. Anything that you notice that maybe you yourself, you might want to change out. Would you like to, anything you've learned yourself as a moving company owner, anything that you'd like to share? I'd love to see what you guys think when it comes to this. All right. So if you haven't done this yet, this is the ultimate internet marketing checklist. It pretty much is the workbook, but in a more condensed format, something you can probably leave next to your desk and kind of refer to it when you need to. So go ahead, and if you want, grab that. If it asks you for an email, just let me know. I'll just send it to you. All right, 12 critical elements to enhancing a conversion. So one is speak to your target avatar. What are their fears and frustrations? Why should they choose you? Be real. Use authentic images of your team on the homepage throughout the site. Do your best to not use stock photos. I would tell you that when you go to these stock photos, all these movers, for some reason, all wear blue bibs. When I go to a website and I see a blue bib, I just know. Part of what we do with our clients is immediately ask them to send us the most original content. You do spend a bit of your budget on a photographer in the beginning. After that, your iPhone is excellent. It's fine. If you got an Android and an iPhone, these cameras are great. Just learn to take some photos. I have a photo shoot checklist as well. I can share that later at the end. Use video and multimedia elements to engage different modalities, depending on if I'm on a phone. Some people would like to see video of the moves, the staff, the drivers, the movers. Think about a website welcome from the owner, videos for each of your moving services, explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition. Leverage social proof. Always, always, always put the most recent reviews on your site. We have a tool that is embedded that pulls immediately from Google. So it is the most recent reviews. But on some of these other pages, you might want to copy paste some of these reviews into each of the location, into each of these service areas, because they're going to mention, if they mention your particular location or that specific service, like if it's an office move and they talk about reviewing the most recent office move, that's the kind of thing I want to show up on those pages. Get the basics in order. You want your phone number in the right-hand corner. Ensure there's a web form customers can fill out. Add credibility. BBB, Angie's, any guilds, any chambers you belong to, any organizations. There's a lot. There's the moving associations. There's all kinds of certifications and places out there that you can definitely put some authority signals on there. I did it again. So I lost the screen. There we go. Okay. So 12 critical elements to enhance your conversion. And now it's number 6. Ensure you have clear calls to action on each page that speak to your customer avatar and tell them exactly what to do next. If you've got special offers and coupons that match the service that they are in need of, make sure your website is mobile optimized with an easy to click call function. Leverage live chat if you can. I think that's still important. Do people still use it? Yes, but it has to be used right. If you've got live chat, is somebody live ready to answer? If it's just a phone and email, I don't know how really helpful that is. Even I've seen some where they've got a little video and they're saying, hi, hey, reach out. And it just sends them straight to the estimate form. So I'm not sure how that helps. Could help. I haven't seen it on our end when we've tried that. It doesn't really do a whole lot. Anyway, leverage live chat. Start giving clients the option to book online. If they can. One of the ways we did this for another client was adding the ability to schedule virtual estimates. So they could schedule a calendar time with different salespeople depending on where they were location wise. So if you're in Southwest Houston, they've got a Southwest Houston salesperson, and the zip code would then give them that person's calendar, and that schedules that specific time. That it could be a phone, virtual, or an in-person, driving out and looking at the home. So if you're not booking them online, absolutely find a way that you can engage with them immediately and schedule an appointment. But that would be the option too, booking online immediately. That requires obviously a little bit more programming, and now we've got AI. I mentioned that tool that people just upload photos of their rooms and they can get a pretty good idea of what that estimate's going to cost. So site speed does matter. If your site does not load under 3 seconds, preferably under 2, at least that what we call first paint content, FPC, first paint content, FCP. It as long as we're seeing something load very, very quickly in the very beginning, and then it loads as you're reading below on a mobile device, site speed just still, I know we all hate it when we load up to a site and it's taking forever, or things are bouncing around. I think that's even worse, is when you go to a mobile site and the picture jumps and you were about to touch something and it just disappears and now you're on some weird page. So engage via SMS and phone, via your marketing automation. Those are all really important when it comes to enhancing your conversions with your website. Let's go down. There we go. And again, having your calls to action very clearly, very cleanly. When you have a desktop version, I just want you to fill out a formal call. I really don't want you to do anything else. When you scroll down, there might be a way to engage with somebody and get the ultimate moving checklist, which what we provide as well. Certainly have your team on here. If you're looking at conversions, have an About Us page that talks about who your company is, your history of your company, why you're in this business, and just constantly be thinking about how can I engage with my clients and let them know that I'm a real company with a history. I'm not going to break their things. I'm not going to disappear them. I'm going to show up on time, and I have a team. And the best way to do that, and people don't think that they go there. They will go to your About Us page for sure. Adding some multimedia to the site keeps them on the page. That is kind of an SEO indicator. How long people are spending on the site. If somebody comes to the site and immediately bounces away, that is an indicator to Google that maybe it wasn't the kind of content that it should be delivered. So it helps with your rankings. If you've got content on the site that kind of keeps them there a little longer, video is great. Again, looking at those reviews, having those reviews on there. If they scroll down, they see a bunch of reviews, they'll stop, look at the reviews, scroll down. Maybe there's the moving checklist, but regardless is that the content is helpful. They're going to stick around. Those are reviews again. And we've got AI involved in here. So it gives an AI summary. We've got immediately pulled in the most recent version of the reviews, the most recent reviews. And, and you'll notice there's a 1-star in here. I don't believe in hiring or hiding those 1 stars. I think it's really important that you are transparent about that. If you get a 1-star, just answer the 1-star and tell them, whatever mistake might have been made. It could be a competitor in there. It could be somebody that shouldn't have left that kind of review, but just respond to it. There are ways to happen if somehow we just recently had a client that got in the news and something happened and all of a sudden they got reamed with a bunch of reviews. And what do we do about that? Well, you can go to Google and ask them to remove those if they're not legitimate reviews. But if you do get a 1-star, don't be afraid of it. Just answer it professionally. And AI is the best tool for that. Tell it that you got a 1-star, give it what was said, and it will provide you a very fresh or professional, unemotional response to it. I think people get a little weird when there's only 5 stars and you are a busy company and nobody was unhappy. If 4.9 is great, 1 or 2 stars every now and then, again, the goal is to make everybody happy, but just don't be afraid if you get 1 or 2 stars every now and then. Now, if you've got 3.5, we got a conversation. It's not good. Even a 4.2, try and stay up in that 4.8 to 5.0 range. Now, are you leveraging live chat? I think that leveraging live chat is helpful if you are on chat, or if you've got live chat that's AI generated and people are here asking questions and you've got AI chat that's answering the questions based on what you provided because you're going to have to teach the AI what to say. I think that's a really good option. But if you're going to use chat, someone should be on chat answering the questions, getting that estimate right immediately. Now, the other thing about your website, have you looked at your site on a mobile device? I won't go through all these stats in here, but I would say that Google reports that 40% of mobile consumers turn down the competitor site after a bad mobile web experience. So always look at your current mobile website. Is the phone immediately available at all times? So if I scroll, does that phone remain quick? Can I get to it quickly, or do I have to hunt for it later? Does it load quickly? Does it load, I was mentioning the first content paintful. Does it take forever to just that first thing to load, and then as you scroll, things just don't show? So are things messed up? Do I have to scroll left and right to find what I need? Most websites nowadays are mobile, but how mobile friendly is it? And I'm going to show you an example of one of our clients. When we first took him on, you can see that he got almost 100% more traffic on mobile than he did on his desktop. And that's typical for a moving company. They're usually out and about at the realtor or whatever. They just got the sale, or, the realtor just came through, whatever. Anyway, but you can see on the key events now are what we call conversions with Google Analytics made a switch. And you can see that the conversions didn't happen. So we have one, you can see my mouse. Yeah. So mobile converted at only 5, and this was desktop at 39. And that's a huge deal. So what we got to do is redo the site, focus on the mobile, and make sure mobile is performing so we can triple the amount of leads coming through. So always look at your mobile. Fill out the form on mobile. How easy is it to fill out the form on a mobile? Can I call quickly on a mobile? Is it, do I have to hunt? Is the navigation easy on a mobile? All those things. Look at your own website. and ask yourself, is that something I need to look at 2025? This is part, I'm not going to read everything on here. This is just a list of things to look at when you're looking at your website. Now, is your website optimized for search? That's our next session here. Have we made sure that our ops website is organic SEO? And we've optimized for organic. Our search engine results page, the SERP is what we call it. How do we show on that first page? Do we show on that first page? Does SEO still matter? As of now, going into 2025, yes, it does. It does matter. We want to show up on the maps. We want to show up on the possibly the people also ask. We want to show up on Google Guaranteed. We want to show, those are paid. You want to show up organic below that? Yes. And yes, SEO still matters. Really what we're doing on your site is building a website that has authority, that has really great content, shows your expertise, builds trust, like I've been mentioning before, with video and actual photos. But we want that EAT methodology: experience, expertise, authority, and trust. And we've got your website needs to be optimized for search engine rankings. There's that list. Ask yourself each one of these about your website. Do we have a main keyword on their title tag? Do we have pages for each of your core services? Do you have frequently asked questions for each of these? And, do we have a page for each service? Do we have optimized titles and H1 URLs? Do we have unique content for all the pages? Have we claimed our Google business profile? Have we added Yext or similar citation? I mentioned this in the very beginning. Have we leveraged the signals? So do we have do follow links? Do we have Google business profile listings? Do we have multiple map embeds on the site? Do we have fresh content? Sometimes people say, again, another conversation yesterday with a client we just took over. His website was apparently being optimized, SEO optimized. And they're writing all kinds of content. So there's two ways to think about it. Is it AI content that's just dribble unhelpful? Or is it content that's actual content that gives examples and images and video and is engaging enough so that people stick with it and Google likes it? What we were seeing was they weren't really writing content. They were writing a page and having titled links, and then the titles were being sent to pages. So it wasn't new content. It was just, I don't even know what it was. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. But just be careful. SEO is not just about writing blogs. There is a lot that goes into building an optimized website. Cleanliness of the code. Is it quick? Is it easy? Do we have the right formatting of the content? Images. Are they images with the file names? People upload image_452.jpg. Google doesn't know what that is. So you have to put in moving services ohio.jpg, moving company driver for apartment moves.jpg would go on the apartment page. So that it's all kind of tied together. Asking yourself, where does my website come on search? Does it show up at all? What do I need to do? That's part of your 2025. And when we go into the optimization, strong website with good content, user experience. I like videos on a blog. Sometimes I don't want to read everything. I need someone to explain it to me in a video, and then I can go back in through the blog and kind of get a summary of what was taught. Leveraging multimedia to improve on-page time. They're going to stick on the site a little longer. Having a page for every service: apartment, office, residential, condo, senior moves, packing, storage, long-term storage, long distance, intrastate moves. All of those need to have their own pages because they all relate to a particular key phrase search. Pages for the cities that you serve. At minimum, don't just list the cities. Every city needs its own page. Unique content nearby now to pass heat map data to the city. Unique content on every page. You need a title. You need an H1, a meta title, a meta description, and an H1. If you're missing those, you're going to miss out on click-through rate. So what if we get number 5 on your search engines, but nobody's clicking over to your site because your titles are wrong or bad? Meta description that sells the click. Again, the description is giving you a really great concept of what I'm going to be clicking on. So I'm going to click on it. That's a click-through rate. If we have a very low click-through rate, and you're looking at about 1 to 3% is typical. So if you're at 0.05, 0.01, normally it's because you're ranked really, really low. But if you're ranked on the first page and you still have really low click-through rate, that's something to look at with your meta titles. Is your name and address, your phone number on the footer? If you've got multiple locations, multiple phone numbers, and you need to make sure that every location has those numbers on there, but have the main phone number on the footer, the main headquarters, blog with ongoing updates, and syndicate the blogs. People forget once you do a blog, doesn't mean it sits on your website. Promote the blog, get it a press release, throw it on your Facebook page, send it in an email. So don't just write the blog and think they will come. They're not. You need to syndicate and send it out. Let everybody know. Again, remember that omnipresence. Focus on your page speed, desktop, mobile. Now, is your site properly optimized? Title tags, H1 for every page with the primary, H2, H3. These are headers on a landing page. All of those are very, very important when it comes to SEO. Geo-tagged images with alt tags. Over 1,500 words of content per page, written clearly with calls to action. Can you use AI? Yes. Should you use AI? Yes. Yeah, but optimize it, edit it so that make sure it sounds human and it can pass the muster. Does it make sense to you? Is it helpful? Have a guide. If you live in Akron, Ohio, have a guide to moving to Akron, Ohio. That's helpful. What are you going to put in there? Resources, locations, schools, bars, restaurants, all those things that if I'm moving to Akron, Ohio, how can you help me? And then include helpful content to get people to make them feel like you're the authority in the Akron, Ohio area. Title tags are at that very top. So let me just kind of go through each one of these. Title tags at the very top. That's at the tab. That's what Google picks up. Don't think that what I put in the title tag is what shows up on a Google search result. Google's going to make up their own mind. They put whatever they want there. All I'm going to do is make sure it's optimized with the key phrases. H1 tag is typically that one at the very, very top. H2 is maybe a secondary. Great content, right? You can see they've got beds. What do we move? Beds, dressers, couches, boxes, and more. And each one of these are going to link me to more pages. So keeps me on the site, keeps me engaged. It's interesting. Is your site properly optimized? And we're going to have internal links in here as well. I should have an internal link if I talk about, hey, you're moving to the greater Seattle area. I would link that to a blog post where I talk about all the great things why you should move to Seattle. We're going to have a page for every service: residential, college, cross-country, labor, long distance, move-in, move-out cleaners, office movers, labor only. Some are do industrial moves. Some do, just rent the truck, so it just depends. Every one of those should be its own move. Specialty moving, storage, packing. Some people pack only. Everything should be in there. Every location should be in there. Every single location. Now, if you're like USA Moving here, they do national moves. So you need a national move page, but to show up in your local area, you want to make sure that every single page is represented. I would also incorporate page plus service. So Allentown residential moving, Blandon commercial moving, Hazleton apartment moving, Allentown apartment moving, Allentown commercial moving, Allentown, and you just keep building and building and building on the site for all these key phrases. Now, are they in the menu? No, they're not in the menu. They're built into the content of the site. I link to it because Google's following all of your links through your whole site and picking and indexing up. So it doesn't always have to be on the menu. These are just some of the keywords to look at. If you go to the links.movingmarketingresults.com/keyword list, hopefully it takes me there. Free resource for you. Go for it. I just updated this for December 2024. It should be pretty good. It goes all the way through August here. I think I did more. And this is just average monthly searches in the nation. You want to make sure that you're looking at it in your own locality, but these are some of the top keywords. So when you're building out your site, This is a really great start. What kind of pages you want to build out, the keywords that you want to use. It's really great for paid ads as well to kind of get you started. You've got year over year change. You've got searches just by month in here as well. We've got 2023 had what their most searches were. So this is 2024, the most moving searching keywords. So again, I'm going to go back over here. There we go. And links.movingresults.com/keyword list. This is all those keywords I just mentioned. Now, when you're, again, building out your website, consider some of these. You may not be a cheap mover. Don't put cheap movers in. Do you move pianos? Then don't put pianos in there. Do you help with, someone was doing jacuzzis? If you don't do jacuzzis, don't create a jacuzzi page. In fact, if you're doing paid ads, we'll talk about that. Make sure jacuzzis sheds are negatives, and we'll talk about it in a second. All right, have a dash. This is just some of our dashboards. I'm not even going to keep on this. All right, off-page SEO. Now you got your website. It's built. It's optimized. Keywords are in there. The right images are in there. It's a wonderful piece of, it's a thing of beauty. Now the hard work starts, and that's the off-page SEO. That's like claiming you're optimizing your Google business profile listing, just as important as your website nowadays. You got to show up in that map. Get lots of citations across the web. I'm not saying buy 1,000. There's probably only about 50, if that you might want to show up on. But getting citations verifies your phone number and your address are all correct. So if you move and you've got multiple locations, you need to make sure you have those citations for each one of those. Build up your online reviews. I would 100%, obviously Google is the biggie, but don't be afraid of some of these other tools that gather reviews for you. Smart Moving, I believe, sends out one along with the link in the email when you send an invoice. My feeling is you're going to get way more if you are aggressive about it. We send out review cards. We create a review card. You should give to your drivers and your movers. So when it's over, you physically ask for the review. If it was a great experience, give them a review. It's got a QR on the cat that sends them straight to the Google review. Make sure that you're being very aggressive. That could be one of your 2025 plans, is getting these reviews, right? And the right kind of reviews. A 1-sentence review is fine. 150 count plus photos are like, those are the greatest reviews ever. When they upload a photo where they're at and talk about your move, those are wonderful. So the more you can get that level of reviews, the better. And that's only going to happen if you're really aggressive about reviews. Don't just think because Smart Moving sent a link one time, you're going to get 500 reviews. You have to be really aggressive. So what we do is at the very end, you have to go into our system and you move somebody into the completed moves, and it instantly kicks off an entire automation series of getting that review. So always try and figure out how can I get, so let me share this one here. Yeah. So how do I get those reviews? Ask yourself action items for 2025. What are the top 3 things I need to do to make sure I really, that's SEO, really kind of work on getting my reviews, which is all part of SEO. All right, lots of citations, build up your online reviews, backlinks. This is where an SEO company kind of comes in. There, if you go to Fiverr, you can find somebody on Fiverr. A little tip: we don't use Fiverr. We've got our own system, but if you need backlinks, builds authority. Not just spammy backlinks, though. Be really careful. Don't just buy a bunch of backlinks. You want to be really careful with the kind of authoritative links that you're going to get. Having a link from grandma's knitting is not going to give you any authority. If a travel or, a home organizer writes a blog about organizing your move and you get a backlink from that, that's okay. If you've got a really great news story and you've done some, let's say Thanksgiving, you gave out meals and you got picked up by the news and they link to you, that's a really great authoritative link. A link from your local chamber is a good authoritative link. So if you decide to kind of go buy links, Just be really, really careful about it. Don't buy just links to have a link. They have to be quality links. And quality means Google has already said that this is an authority website. They've got really great content. It's not spammy. And they write about they write real things that are helpful to people. And those are the kinds of links that we're constantly looking for. It's tough. It's not easy. But those are the things that we're trying to do. Strategic content syndication. Again, when you write a blog, don't just let the blog sit. Syndicate the blog. Get it out there. Nobody is going to go to your website and then go to your blog. Nobody does that. I know it breaks my heart because we work very hard on the blogs we write. Nobody's going to do that. So syndicate the blog. Use it as a social media tool and a reach out tool. If you wrote a really great blog about moving to Seattle and you've got all these great resources, all the things that people should think about, why they should move to Seattle, share that on your social media. Hey, we wrote a really great resource for those thinking about moving to Seattle. And you tease it a little bit and link back to the website. Put it in the comments as well. There's all these little tricks about it, but the whole point is not so much for me to get likes and comments, yay, and engagement, yay. I'm trying to get people to call you. And I'm trying to get SEO backlinks, people linking to the site because it was an interesting topic and something they wanted to learn more about. That's syndication. Email it. If you've been in business long enough, you should have an really long email list. I'm not saying you got to spam everybody all the time. Once a month, once a quarter, you never know. Somebody you moved 5 years ago might be in the middle of selling their house. Who are they going to go with? You, because you moved them last time. If you get them at the right time in an email marketing and you share, even if it's not even they're moving to Seattle, it's just top of mind, right? On the top is, are you moving soon? Apartment buildings, right? These are year leases. My daughter just graduated college. That girl moved every year in a different apartment. She's probably not going to stick in her apartment in the next time. She'll probably move every year. So those are really great. Reach out. Happy anniversary on your move. Here's a blog we wrote about making sure your next apartment move is helpful. That's syndication. Are you building those backlinks? Again, 70% of the battle when it comes to SEO is building quality backlinks. It's hard work. It takes a long time. Another story real quick. Yesterday, again, told us he'd been working for an SEO with an SEO company for 2 years. Not a single backlink, not a single one. Couldn't find a single backlink. You're not doing SEO if you're not getting proper quality backlinks. Something's missing. Now, I'm not saying 1,000 backlinks. I'm not saying like just slam it. I'm saying good quality backlinks, like I mentioned earlier. All right. Do Google Maps matter? Yes, it is part of the organic SEO framework. Are we ranking on Google Maps? 45% of the SERP, search engine result page, goes to the map. We have to optimize the map. That's why we're really aggressive with reviews. That's one of the indicators to show up local maps. Do Google Maps matter? Absolutely. Claim it, verify it, optimize it. Are you on the major online directories? It's called the name, address, phone number. I don't really worry about that too much of getting 1,000. There's only about 50 we need. How many online reviews do you have? How many photos are in the reviews? Are you posting weekly, at minimum weekly, to the Google business profile, whether that's a recent discount, it could be a photo, it could be a blog that you wrote. Are you responding to frequently asked questions? And are you yourself regularly adding photos? So do Google Maps matter? This is just one of our clients where we can kind of see in 2022, this is rather old, but 790 clicks, 338 clicks to the website, 302, right? So you can see the growth in that. Before and after, these are grids. So the red is we don't show it all. The yellow is that they're in the top 10 of a Google map. We want to be in the top 3, and that's green. And this is just over time. You can see high ranking grid points 25, and then we doubled that. Now let's get into taking advantage of paid marketing. That's our top left corner in our marketing module. There's pay per lead, and then there's pay per click. Pay per lead, this is the Google guaranteed. Pay-per-click is at the bottom where there is an auction for a phrase. Depending on how many people are buying for that phrase, that's what your price will be. So if we do well with our phrase and we do well with our quality score and we've got the right budget, we got the right landing page, we can get into the top. Google Guaranteed is way more about your weekly budget and how well your profile matches what somebody has Googled. There's not a whole lot we can do with pay-per-lead when it comes to it. It's just monitoring the leads that come through on a daily basis, making sure that your locations are right, making sure that your categories are right. So let me see if I got it in here. Let me keep on going. Paid online marketing opportunities. We got AdWords. I mean, there's so many of them. Moving.com, Moving Leads, Equate, USA Home Listing. All of these are paid online marketing opportunities. Now, for buying leads, how much time are you spending on calls, estimated, and bad leads? Ask yourself when you buy leads and they promise you 500 leads, how much of your time is answering the phone on bad leads? Or answering the phone, nobody picks up, answering the phone, and they're looking for sheds and you don't move sheds. If someone's looking to move a house, you don't move houses. So when you buy some of these leads, just be real careful. Is that, yes, great, you got 100 leads. How many were qualified? How much of your time is being spent on really bad leads when you could be putting that money into a proper marketing campaign and building on that? Why do most pay-per-click campaigns fail? Usually when I take on a client, this is one of the few of the things that we look at. We only want one ad group for all the services. One ad group for moving, one ad group for packing, one for storage, movers, homes, apartments, right? Long distance, one ad group. Long distance would be its own campaign, actually. Don't use specific text ads and landing pages for groups. They're not using specific text ads and landing page for groups keywords. So if you've got an apartment ad group, it should land on the apartment landing page. We don't have any strong calls to action or an offer like $100 off your first move with us, $100 off if you book by this Friday. If you need some kind of enticing offer to get them to call right now. They don't take advantage of add-ons and extensions. We're not excluding terms like U-Haul, pods, sheds, house. People put house in there. There is a service where you move a house, not a home. So houses and homes are very different. Not managing regularly, adding display and retargeting. So always just manage the ads. They should be in there we're in there at least weekly, and we're looking at negatives. We're looking at quality scores. We're looking at the ads, the landing pages, and then we'll kind of modify as we go along and create display and retargeting ads. So call out extensions are things like a free quote, look at our reviews, all the moving service. So there's just added extras that we want to add to the bottom, just kind of fills in that ad. And then we want to make sure that we've got photos that go with it. So always just do as much as you can to fill the campaign with all the data. And because Google's going to do their own thing. They've got their own AI in there, and we don't want to kind of miss that. Now, why most pay-per-click campaigns fail? Retargeting and display. They're not using those tools that are out there. Display is very cheap. Display does not convert. Display and retargeting are meant for visibility. Retargeting is somebody, you've been to the site and now see your ads elsewhere. Are you tapping into the Google ad, local service ads, the Google Guaranteed? I recommend it. You just have to be very, very good about managing the leads that come through. Activate, archive them, mark them as booked. Because if you've got 200 leads that are open, Google looks at that and goes, looks like you don't need any more leads. You got 200 open. You're not touching these. So always go in and make sure you're either archive them, they're active, or they're booked. If they're booked, mark them booked, get them off the plate, and keep filling in the gaps. Now, if you're curious about how much you should be spending, you've got, there's a tool, the link here, ads. Let me see, do I have a link? No. Just Google ads, local service ads. And if you scroll down halfway through, there is this estimated budget tool that you can use. 100 monthly. So for example, I put in 100 monthly leads in 7749 area code for the phrase mover. and it gave me $3,400 to $5,100 a month. Now, again, I'm in Houston, Texas, very big, very metropolis, one of the largest cities in the country. So is it going to be a high budget? Hell yeah. If you're out in a smaller location, it might be less, but this is a great way to get started. And how much budget do you need per month? What they do is they do it by week. So you would break this, divide it by 4, and that would be your budget. Make sure in Google Local Service Ads that you're broken these down. I don't like the word other. We uncheck. If you don't do junk removals, uncheck. If you don't move big appliances and jacuzzis, uncheck oversize. Just uncheck the things that you do not do. Definitely uncheck other. You're just going to get weird requests like jacuzzis. Can you move all my garden equipment outside? I mean, that's up to you. It's up to you. You can try the other, but monitor it. Make sure you got your locations built out. Some people use zip codes. We're testing that. I'm not seeing a big difference. If I do a city, I don't see a difference in me just putting in zip codes. I could probably get more granular with it, but definitely go in and put your specific cities in there. When you do choose photos, it's going monitor what you get uploaded, because it does not like it when you put phone numbers on your phone, on your images, because they're tracking using their system, their phone number. And so they're going to tell you, that's just part of the monitoring, making sure the photos that you're using are legit. Now, when you're going through for 2025, what do I got to do for paid search review? Are you running Google Local Service Ads with a maxed out budget? I'm still sick. Okay. Are you running Google Ads? Are you strategically targeting specific ad groups? Do you have conversion tracking? We use phone tracking and we use tracking for forms. Have you created a remarketing campaign? Are you running Facebook ads? Are you buying pay-per-lead services? Now, are you also active on social media? That's the question for 2025. Again, part of our reputation management. I'm not saying you got to post every 2 seconds, once a day, but you need to be active. You need to be posting real photos of your men at work moving. Yes, share helpful tips. Share the latest news. Share your community involvement. Share your blogs. Share your coupons and your discounts. Share those on social media and syndicate as much as possible. It helps with repeat business and referrals, because they're going to try and remember who I moved with 2 months ago, and they may not remember. But if they've liked your page or they've seen your content before, we just want to make sure that we're trying to visibly get that omnipresence. So ask yourself, when you're doing an audit of your own marketing, is your contact information updated and visible on all of your profiles? Your X, your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube. Man alive. Do you post? Do they have clear calls to action? I get it. We want to post all the cool stuff that we're doing, how beautifully we wrap the piano. But if you don't incorporate a call to action to call you for the next piano move, they're not going to call you. So always incorporate those calls to action. Are they high quality visuals? Your phone is great for this. I've got really high quality, great resolution for it. But I've got a photo shoot checklist that we can share to give you some better imagery to put on your site. Do you respond to comments? So if somebody does comment, be sure to at least like or comment back. Do you check the types of content your competitors are posting? Do a little competitive research. And if you haven't used it yet, ChatGPT's really got a great tool to help you build out posts and ideas for your posts. You can plug in some of the things you've done in the past, what's worked, and it'll generate some ideas for you. Definitely utilize it if you're in a specific region. So if you're in Colorado, what kind of social media posts can we post in the Colorado area, considering how cold it is, mountainous, and just kind of from a location standpoint, use that AI to help you come up with some interesting ideas. Email marketing is part of your database. People forget to utilize the people that you've already moved. If you've been in business long enough, you should have a really good list. If you've been using tools like Smart Moving, then you should have a good database of people. What we recommend is we get access to that, because we're going to put that in our database, and we're going to send out friendly email marketing once a month. That's it. I'm just trying to syndicate. I'm just trying to get visibility on your agency. Send an email after every move requesting a review. Send an email a few days after service asking them to engage on social media. Send out a monthly email newsletter. Remain on top of mind. Drive repeat and referrals. And don't forget, we've got apartment complex managers. They should be getting a monthly email too. You can segment your email campaign so that you have a special list of apartment managers. You're going to build a network of these guys, and you're going to continually engage with them. And that's what email marketing is for. Send an anniversary email. Hey, it's been a year since you moved. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. Hope you consider us for your next move. Or if you have a friend or family that is looking at removing, we do offer a $100 referral for your family and friends. Here's that coupon. Please share. We'd love to help you, right? Just any excuse that we can to get that top of mind. Email marketing ROI is 3 times higher than social media. People forget, they think I got to get on social media all the time. I got to do social media. I got to do social media. You don't have to do social media all the time. Email marketing is 3 times higher in ROI. Local service businesses see a 32% higher open rate than retail. Post-move, post-follow-up emails generate 23% more referrals. So yes, your operational CRMs that manage your operations, they will send an email with an invoice and a link to reviews. Great. What I want to do is follow-up emails. I want to generate 23% more referrals, because we're going to be more engaged, and we're going to purposely send them this feedback request. Email marketing reviews. This is your chance. Ask yourself, what do I need to do different with my email marketing? Do I need to get something set up? We use our Moving Up app. But if you've got MailChimp, Constant Contact, HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever you're using, you need an email marketing tool to capture everybody. I think Smart Moving connects with syncs with MailChimp. So if you haven't done that yet, do that. Makes it very easy. It'll just immediately put that new person in MailChimp. You can send out newsletters that way. Direct mail is an option. I just spoke to someone yesterday. He's not a real fan of it. He says it's oversaturated. I think if you do one postcard, one letter, and that's all you do, yes, he's right. It's not effective. If you do repeat postcards, repeat letters, you could do 3 letters, 3 different types of letters, and a postcard. Then if they go to your site, you can send another postcard automatically, because you're going to recognize them, and they'll immediately get another postcard. And all it is just top of mind, 12 to 15 points where they see you. Remember us. And this is what I was talking about, the retargeting direct mail. You can target specific zip codes. I only want these postcards to be sent to these 30 zip codes in my area. I want to send a monthly postcard based on they visited these 3 pages on my website. And that way, not everybody who comes to my site gets a postcard. They have to have at least engaged a little bit before they get an immediate postcard. And this sometimes costs between about $75, $150 a month, but it's targeted. You know, these people came to your site. They've looked at your site. They were interested. They're in your zip code. They're not somewhere over, if you're in New York, they're not in California looking for a local move. It's got to be within the zip code. So I do recommend talk to us. This is something that we implement with our program. Are you leveraging large yard signs? I get the moving truck is out there, but what about when you're packing? Can you put a yard sign when the guys are out packing, so that, as much as I can get your name out there, the better. And again, your reputation, I think I've already talked about this, but Soldier Strong is a client of ours. We went from 4.7. She went from 4.7 to 4.9 in very little time. I mean, she was super aggressive with the reviews, and that's already starting to affect her Google business profile. She's starting to move up the ranks in the map. So yes, it does matter. And this, I think I've always shown this before. This is the ranking grids, 25 to 50. We're starting to show up more in different locations on the map in those top 3. That's the goal for any Google map. And reviews are part of that process. Always be answering reviews. Always be answering reviews. There are AI tools out there to answer review, to help you. If you don't know what to say, and if you get emotional because you get a bad review, AI is a great tool for that. You can always edit it. I highly recommend that. Always be checking your other sites. So if you've got a BBB, or you may not even know you've got a BBB listing, a Better Business Bureau listing, double check those reviews. You never know. If you've got a bad review, the best thing to do is fill it with better reviews, and you'll get a 4.5 because you've got more reviews. Yelp is another one. The elephant in the room. Nobody wants Yelp, but they're there and they show up in the rankings. So what are some key takeaways? Paid ads, social, email marketing, direct mail, reviews, Google business profile. We've talked about a lot. So why don't you take a second or so to ask yourself, what are some things that we can do? What's a takeaway? Now, are you leveraging lead conversion? So 2025, automation is the theme. Using AI, using all the tools that are available to you. Smart Moving has tools. Moving Buddha. I can't remember. There's a bunch of them out there. I've used a few of them. One of the things that automation helps you with is unconverted leads. So if somebody comes in and fills out a form, that shouldn't be the end of the form. It drives me crazy when I fill out a form. I get no receipt, no answer. Maybe they call me the next day, but I want an immediate response to acknowledge the fact that I filled out the form. So I don't want just a thank you page. I want an email, a series of emails that get sent out with a top 10, my checklist for moving. So I'm just engaging with somebody. I acknowledge that you filled out the form. We are the choice for you, and here is why. We are experts in this field. We're going to send you 2 or 3 emails to help you in your moving journey. Before they've even talked to you, that first email as a receipt, you get a copy and everybody else gets a copy. But we're going to keep continually engaging with them. So Google Ads, leadflow is the question. Then goes back to the very beginning when we talked about if you've got more than 100 leads coming in, or 200 leads, super low, that's not your problem, right? You're using Angie's, or you're using Moving Leads, moving.com, USA Home Listing, and they're sending you a bunch of leads. Is lead flow really your problem? 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted. 50, 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted. 90% of web forms fail to convert. And leaving a voicemail is the kiss of death. Answer every call within 3 rings. That should be the goal of your sales. You, the owner, if you hear anything going to voicemail, you can just forget about it. Converting them will just get harder and harder. Leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. On average, only 2% of sales are made during the first point of contact. That means if you don't follow up, even with a simple follow-up email, you're missing out on potentially 98% of your sales, right? Today's consumer prefers to interact via text message versus a phone call or an email. So always think about, how can I leverage text messaging? Answer that call within 3 rings. But if we can leverage marketing automation to follow up with web forms, like I mentioned, a follow-up email, a sequence, maybe an immediate text message that to acknowledge the call and the voicemail, automate the follow-up so that every prospect is touched at least 5 times, 5 or more times, and able to engage via two-way texting, email, another phone call. And again, I'm looking at the options of AI phone calls. It's coming down the pipeline of being able to have an AI call you. So if I call, leave a message, the AI can call me back and ask the questions I need as a salesperson to make sure it's a qualified lead and to keep the client engaged. So that's coming down the pipeline. It's on our system. It's not activated yet. It's in the works. We want to prevent abandoned form requests. This is what I'm talking about. The automation where somebody fills out a form, they get immediately thrown into an email funnel because I don't want them to think they've been forgotten. Even if you do call them back, even if you have something of a proposal, because these are happening over the next couple of days. And then they're going to get a message a couple of times. You're going to get notified. Confirming those receipts. Anytime I have a estimate request, requesting feedback, confirming a date and time of the move, sending final reminders. Hey, tomorrow is our move. Are you ready? Here's the things you need to have ready. Follow-up estimates. Because don't forget, once we get the lead and we book them, we're not done marketing. Absolutely not. We need to have them the best experience possible. Showing up on time is great. Having a wonderful packing experience without any problems and issues with delivery of the product, that's all part. That's 90%. There's a 10% of this that's customer experience. Reminders, helpful and acknowledging emails to guide them through this process. Some people have never moved in their life. This is their very first move as an adult or as a young family. So how can you help them with that process? Again, we can have a live chat, some automation in that. They fill out their name. They immediately get a text back. Hi there, I'd love to help you, but I have a couple of questions. First, is this a house or apartment, right? We follow them through an automatic sequence of questions via SMS messaging, which then goes into a system and a chat bot funnel with some automations. And again, we can then either keep engaging with them or send them straight to a phone call to a salesperson. It just kind of depends on how you want to work. Automation with reviews and feedback. I prefer, if we do as many ways as possible, a review card that gets maybe stapled to the final bill of lading when we've expressed, here's what we did for you, final bill. We give them a review card. We give them a postcard that says, hey, here's how to give us the best review possible. If you can include a photo, names of the people, right? And we've got a little postcard with a QR code that sends them straight to the Google Business Profile. But you know what? I can automate that. If they click that QR code, guess what? It kicks off an automation. And if they haven't done that review, we'll send them another reminder. So there's just all kinds of ways to help with conversion using automation. And I did a whole automation program in my last webinar in November. So check it out on YouTube. I go through all of this stuff with way more detail in here. Now we're at that final part where we're doing optimized leads, right? So again, optimizing our leads, getting the best qualified leads as possible. So tripling our leads is all part of improving the conversion and the qualification of the lead. 80 leads a month, 10%, no follow-up. 30% with some automation follow-up. We've just tripled our revenue just by putting in some automation because we're going to 3 times our conversion process. Do you have all the tools in place to track your ROI? Google Analytics, track your online ranking for important keywords. We talk about these keywords in here. Have you been tracking the best key phrases for your location? Track your online, consider call tracking a phone number. We do this. I need to know if I'm giving you an ROI. Part of that is a tracking phone number. We track the forms, and in order for me to know if a Google ad is performing well, it needs a special Google ad phone number so that I know if you're getting the leads. Because we'll get people that think that nothing's happening. I go to our system, it says, we just sent you 20 leads, came from paid ads, right? If I didn't have that in place, I couldn't tell you whether or not you're getting a return on your investment. So feeling is another problem. You feel, you think, you feel like you're not getting enough leads. The data is so important here. Is your business doing well or not? You got to have the data. Analytics, we talk about what's your budget? How much are you spending? What's your lead generation target? What's your average move ticket? What's your conversion rate? These are all numbers you've got to have in order for you to grow. You can't feel your way through this. You think, when I call and I ask, how many leads do you get a month? I don't know. That's important. You need to know those numbers. So now's the time in 2025 to start tracking. So just a snapshot, one of our clients, don't look at the it's like 25,000%, it's a new site. So I think I just did this a couple weeks ago, but what I'm looking at is engaged sessions. I'm looking at average time per session, and these are all indicators of how well the website is performing. Don't only look at sessions, how many people came to the site, because it could be global. A new site tends to get really picked up quickly. Bots start hitting it. So sessions, visitors aren't the major tool. I need to know, are they sticking around the site? Are they engaged on the site? Are they clicking and scrolling and watching videos? Are they filling out forms? In addition to the fact how many called and how many converted. Another tool, this is our Moving Up app that's got, opportunity status, and every lead comes through, how many won, how many lost, how many were open. That's a really great tool. In the past 31 days, we had an increase of 26% of opportunity, absolute leads. And then the value. This is all dependent on the average lead costs or average lead. Yeah. So 250, 100, some people put 75, but that's all. Our conversion rate went up 201%. Again, we're just constantly looking at ways to, what can we do that's important, but it's a good thing to know. Do you have the tracking in place to gauge your ROI? We talked, this is part of 2025 when you're making this plan for yourself. What do I need to install so that I know my numbers? Google Analytics, keyword ranking tracking, call tracking for sure. So every phone call that comes in, you need a way of tracking that information. Some of it goes into Smart Moving, some of it doesn't. Leads obviously go into Smart Moving in your operational CRM, but we use our Moving Up app because I need to see every lead, every phone call, every form, every Facebook DM, every Instagram DM, everything needs to come in so I can see what's working and what's not working. How many total leads, how many qualified leads, how many book leads. And you need that kind of dashboard to know those numbers. Your CRM, your dispatch system, like Smart Moving, gives you a really great operational, but it's poor at telling you where the leads came from. If you don't have call tracking, if you don't have the right form to tell you landing pages where they came from. I believe Smart Moving does have some UTMs we could do, but we just prefer our system. It just gives us way more better data. How did they get there? What did they do? It's just really good data. Now, if you haven't done so yet, there is a checklist. I would prefer, you probably want to use this one. And if you haven't yet, go inside the chat. I put links to all these in the chat. If you haven't done that yet, go to the links and in the chat. And there are some links in there that take you to your the 2025 Internet Marketing Plan, as well as the marketing planning worksheet for movers. You're going to have to make a copy of this. It'll ask you to make a copy of this sheet. But all these things that I've talked about, this is the short version of it. If you go to my website or just email me, I'll send you this as well. Just be sure that you download the annual worksheet. This is for 25. If you want to make a proper roadmap into 2025. Now, don't have a lot of viewers right now. Looks like I got a couple people here, but they've been trickling in and out for the past, hour and a half. Just ask yourself, what are your top action items? What are the top 3 things you want to get done before the new year starts? And then make that plan for every quarter. And ask yourself, what are the things I got to do to make sure that I meet my goals? If I want to make $1 million, if I want to make 2 million, what do I have to do to get there? If I've got a 2 million and my average ticket value, let's say, is 750, I'm going to need to get 222 leads because I've got a conversion rate of 75. If I've got a conversion rate of 25%, then I need 889 leads per month. 222 is how many booked jobs I need to get to the 2 million mark, because my average ticket value is 750. So 222 leads, I've got a 25% conversion rate, meaning I got to get 889 leads every month in order for this to work. How am I going to get 889 leads a month to get myself to 2 million? I could probably increase my conversion. I can half the number of leads I need. So just using this as levers of, what do I need to do? My salespeople, do they need to get better? Does my website need to improve? Do my paid ads, social media, email marketing? What are the top 3 things that you need to be doing? Now, what we've covered so far is creating a clear plan, a clear map for 2025. Like I just mentioned, realign your KPIs. What do I need to track in order to get the outcome? How many leads, how many converted, conversion rate, average value, and then, putting in all the KPIs of, do I need to hire a salesperson? Do I need another truck? Building out your budget, your channels. What channels am I going to focus on? Social media? Am I going to do Google Guaranteed with a proper budget? Am I going to do paid ads with a proper budget and get it properly organized and configured? And then absolutely looking at those important trends that we talked about early on. And one of those for sure is AI. How am I going to leverage AI? There's the tools that are out there that will, and I'll see, I'm going to find, what is the website? Hold on one second. I'm going to find that website because I had a great conversation with it. It was really interesting, and I know I have them. Because I want to share that with everybody, because I promised I would with them. And yeah, I'm sure you've already heard of them. What is it? There it is. Okay. Direct mail, answering services, move bees. Where are they? Company operations resources, paper leads, CRM operational. Where is the? Oh, here it is. Is this it? Virus, that's not it. Move. Okay, let me find it here. I made a comment of it. Moving estimate. Here it is. I believe this is them. All right. Yeah. So the WeMove.ai. So this is the company that will, using images, immediately set you up with a moving quote. And they've got a neat little app that's like a per use pricing structure, but I recommend reaching out to them. It's something that I'm looking at possibly offering to our clients. And it just makes that conversion a little easier because you're going to be able to give them an instant move quote. All right. So important trends to think about: AI, using chat, follow-up chats and text messages, and setting up for massive success and beyond. How are we going to do that? These are all those different elements we talked about. First is how we're going to drive leads, how are we going to maximize the conversions, and how are we going to optimize those results. It's just a constant iteration of information that comes that comes through. And so it's just really important. What are those areas that I'm going to have to focus on? And I don't recommend every single one of these. Pick 3 and just go all in on it. Once you get that done, go to another 3, go all in on it and get really good at it. If you've got a 3.5 or 4.0 in your reputation, go all in reputation management and build those reviews. If your website is absolutely not converting, you're seeing traffic, mobile traffic, but nobody converts, work on your website. If you've got a very low organic score, you don't show up in the maps at all, your website doesn't show up in any organic, there's some SEO that needs to be usually tied to your website though. But what are you going to work on? Now, coming on the end here, if you want to call, best thing to do is schedule. Now we're coming up on the Christmas season, so we're going to be closed for a couple weeks. But go ahead and schedule if you want to have a conversation. I do go into deep dive into your business. I will ask you a lot of questions. How many leads do you have? What was your gross revenue? What are your plans for 2025? I'm going to ask you that stuff. Then I'm also going to look at what you're currently doing, what your digital marketing looks like now. So I do recommend kind of reaching out. I am not a hard sell. I'm here to help. And if you've got another company you're working with, that's totally cool. We can just have a conversation, see what's working, what's not working. I'm here to help. But yeah, we're going to analyze your online visibility. I'm going to see if there's some custom keywords that are relevant to you and your location. Probably do a ranking report. We'll do an analysis of where you're currently at with your online directory and your citations, your online reviews, your social presence, and your website conversion effectiveness. So all these things I'm going to look at when we have that phone call. So I recommend it. Again, just have that conversation. Just love to help. If you decide you don't need our help, that's cool. I'm totally fine with it. All good. This is that free photo shoot checklist. I do recommend this photo shoot checklist. I created this about 3 or 4 years ago because it's really hard to do digital marketing without the right kind of photos, and not everybody has the budget for a big photographer. If you can, I recommend hiring someone at least once every couple years to come out for a couple hours and get some really nice photos. In the meantime, use the photo shoot checklist to give you some ideas as to what kind of photos that we need from you, your social media, your website, your Google business profile, your email marketing, all of that all together. So I recommend hopping on that and getting that photo shoot. So again, movingmarketingresults.com schedule. Thank you everybody for sticking around. I appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions on here, I am here to help. Throw something in the chat. I would just absolutely adore it if you guys ask me a question, please. That would be great. If not, all good. I can see there's a few people here. Don't be shy. I'm not here to judge or anything. So if you're just beginning your business, that's cool. If you're 10 years in the business, that's cool too. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've got all kinds of ideas and lots of experience. And if I don't have the answer, I will do what I can to help you out. But if I don't hear anything, everybody, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm extending this if anybody chats anything. No? All right. I'm going to be doing this again in January, refining it probably. So if there's anything that I missed, please let me know. Go to my website. Let me know if I missed something. You want to incorporate that into January. But thanks again, everybody. And good luck to you in 2025. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Awesome. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.